Hello. It's, I think, January 15th. It's about 9 a.m. in the morning. It's a decent day out. It's really cold. And I'm really, really tired, both physically and emotionally. I keep asking myself, when can I experience a sense of satisfaction or contentment or finality in terms of a baseline emotional level on a day-to-day basis? Because for as long as I can remember, every day feels like an uphill battle. Every day feels like a challenge. Every day feels like a failure. And I'm quite frankly just tired of it. This video isn't meant to help anyone or provide any sorts of advice, but I hope in me conveying my thoughts that other people feel less alone in their own thoughts. I so desperately want an answer in some secret pill or food or tip that makes everything just a little bit better. And even just saying that, I realize that there are tips and tricks and pills that do actually create happiness in a direct manner. The biggest thing I think that a lot of people overlook is meditating and journaling, and more specifically journaling about the things that they're grateful for. I feel like I'm very knowledgeable in the things that can make a person more content and happy. But my confusion arrives in the fact that every single day I refuse to help myself. I refuse to do the things that I know for a fact will make me feel better. I don't know if it's executive dysfunction or autism or ADHD, but I feel paralyzed. Every day I feel paralyzed by my inaction because my brain is moving a million miles an hour, just constantly telling myself of the things that I should be doing and I want to be doing, and every day I refuse to listen. And I think that push and pull between your brain and your body and those actions, when they're so misaligned, it's really unhealthy, and I feel like I've been really unhealthy for a long time. And it's no longer frustration or sadness that I feel. It's more just confusion. Why do I choose every day to suffer? What what subconscious or conscious belief or thought or opinion or dialogue that I possess that holds me back? Because here, me talking, I want to be happy, I want to be content, I want to feel good, I want good thoughts in my brain. And yet, I can recognize that the opposite of that, the antithesis of that, I'm not saying that word right, is very comforting in a way. My body almost feels at ease when I'm sulking or I'm consumed in this sadness or anger. It's almost like it understands it well. It's almost like it's all it's ever known. And I remember a moment a couple years ago. I don't know exactly what transpired or what happened, but I had done something or something had happened to me or someone else had said something. And for a moment, I felt happy. I felt warm inside. I felt that feeling that I'd always yearned for and that I'd always missed. And just as quickly as it came, it left. And, you know, I really don't want to exaggerate or dramatize how I feel, because it's really important that I say everything how it is and not try to embellish. But I don't think I've really ever felt that feeling again since. And when I think back on that moment, I realize that my my body was so uncomfortable with the feeling of being happy that it felt the need to revert back to the baseline level of whatever I feel, this weird emotionless numbness or whatever you can call it. I'm hurting. Every day hurts. It really does. And it takes very little for me to break down. And yet, every day I have to, not have to, but I put on this very strong facade of me, of who I am in some way. And I think a really big reason why I want to make these videos is I often think, if I was looking at myself from the perspective of someone else, I'd be really mad at myself. I'd be yelling at myself. I'm like, dude, what the fuck are you doing, bro? Just meditate and journal. Just eat enough. Just get enough sleep. It's that simple. I would get really frustrated at that person. And I'd feel like I would know exactly what advice to give that person. I would say, you know, it's not about how you feel or how you felt in the past. It's more how you feel right now and how you're going to feel in 5 seconds. And you need to approach every kind of step in your day and in your week and in your month just one at a time. You need to compartmentalize. You need to break everything down into its own regards, because when you approach the problem of, oh my God, I'm so sad and I have all these problems and I need to do all these things, you just very quickly get overwhelmed, and then the body shuts down, and then you're not getting anywhere. And so I would say to that person, just start slow. Just take it 1% at a time. Just just try to meditate for a minute, 60 seconds. And then the next day try 2 minutes, so on and so forth. Journal a paragraph, and then maybe the next time journal, 5 more sentences. You got to take it really slow. And I think that answer is pretty obvious and it's pretty simple. But the reason why I feel like me and many others almost refuse to even start is because we live in such a fast-paced world and such a fast-paced environment, and the amount of stimulus that enters our brain and our psyche on a day-to-day basis is so unhealthy for the human brain that hasn't really evolved in the last 100,000 years that it's so uncomfortable to start a race walking when everyone else is already sprinting, or when it feels like everyone else is sprinting. And this kind of transitions into how I feel about the iPhone. The phone, I've talked about this in some of my other videos, just how much society has changed and how much the human day-to-day has been altered by the invention of the mobile device in the last, 20-some years. And people really don't understand or they don't realize how much it's really changed because, one, they're already engrossed in it, or two, they grew up with it. It's all they've ever known. And I think me and my generation are the people who grew up with it. We haven't known a life without Instagram and constant social media and constantly being connected and constantly knowing what's happening in so many different areas of the world and constantly being aware of atrocities and bad things and good things. But it's so hard to get out of it. It almost feels like my entire identity is based off the comparison of other people's identity and their progress and their goals and their lives. It feels like the only reason why I do things is because of other people. And I know for a fact that a large part of the people my age, I'm 21, about to be 22, feel the same way. It just, I can't even say it's sad or it disappoints me or it angers me. It just leaves a bad feeling in my chest. How the world is interacting, how the world is evolving, how the world is functioning in this current moment in early 2026, it doesn't leave a good feeling in my chest. And I think that's a large reason why people romanticize 2016, summer 2016 a lot. Because that was such a year where everything was warm. It was a good feeling in the chest. Everything felt great, It really felt like we were all a very happy collective as a society in a way. And now everything feels kind of gloomy and doomy. It almost feels like the color has been taken out of our eyes a little bit. Both, literally and figuratively. As you age, you lose a little bit of color identification. And there is no lesson of this video, as I mentioned before. There is no overwhelming point. There is no message I want to leave you with. There is no question. There is no answer. It's more that I feel compelled to just talk out loud my thoughts. I don't want to, but I will leave the video here. I feel like I have so much to talk about, but I'm tired. And I'm gonna go get something to eat. Um, Thank you for watching till the end. If you have, please leave a comment and say hi. That would mean a lot to me. Um, and yeah, just meditate, just journal, just be grateful for the little things that you have, because every day it feels like living is less and less of a motivational plot.